Welcome to episode 5 of Mastering Editing for Your Business. Today we're going to be talking about 3D in DaVinci Resolve, and we're going to be going over some formats that you can use when you're editing in 3D, some things that you can do in 3D that could be helpful for your business, and we'll go from there. Anyways, open up DaVinci Resolve and then just go ahead and drag in a Fusion composition in the edit page, and then just open up Fusion. Once you're in Fusion, we'll do the same thing as yesterday. Drag in a background node, attach the background node, and if it isn't already, set this to dual screen like this. If it already is in dual screen, don't worry about it, but yeah, set it to dual screen. And then you want to click on the background node, click on image plane 3D. Now what this is doing is it's taking this black frame, this black background, and putting it on an image frame plane. So if you've done geometry, plane, just a flat surface, click on the image plane and then press merge 3D. That one. And then press camera 3D. And then what this is doing is this merge 3D is kind of like your 3D workspace. So if you drag in your merge 3D to the second view here, you can see. Okay, so this is the image plane. What is the image plane? It's this background node right here. I can change this black background like this, and you can see it changes the image plane. This camera 3D. Now you can't see the camera, the camera is doing right now, because you still need to add a render 3D, which will basically render this 3D into a video. You can see that if you move your camera all the way back, now you can see the image in a 3D space, like this. So if I go on my background, let's make it a gradient so that it's more easy to understand. And then hold down Control and then zoom in and out. And then that's how you'll be able to move around. Zoom in and out, and then hold down the middle mouse button and then just move it around. That's how you'll pan. And then hold down Alt and then the middle mouse button, and then this is how you'd rotate. So now the 3D merge is a bit different from the 2D merge, because on the 3D merge you can just think about it as this entire workspace. This is the whole thing, and you can connect as much things as you want to it and it will just appear inside of this workspace. So for example, if I go to my browser and I look up laptop FBX laptop, and I'll like download a free 3D model. I like this one, computer. Okay, it costs money. I want to download this one. So for DaVinci Resolve, you want to download the FBX. So this is for Unity, this is for like Blender, other 3D platforms. You want to download FBX. So this is a recording of me just going over something while I'm editing. I wanted to explain something in further depth because I realized that I didn't actually explain it well enough. But basically, when you import your FBX scene, and if it looks something like this, I'm just going to break down each part of this so that's more easier to understand. So these are all different images for the texture. There's two parts of this laptop. Just go ahead and delete the point cloud, but there's two different parts of this laptop. Just for this render, there is the body and then there's the screen. So you can't just put in one texture and expect it to just completely fill out the notebook, make it look exactly like a notebook. It's going to look very weird. So you can just delete this, because you just need to understand that this, where it says low poly underscore body, this is actually in control of the color of the body of the notebook. So if I drag this merge into this viewport right here and then zoom out, and then if I look around, you can see that there's no color. Well, there is color, it's just that color is whatever this color is. So I can change this by, going like this or picking my own color. Or I can change it by adding in my own texture. That's right, you can import your own texture and just drag it right directly into this. So this is the body. So I'm going to grab the body of the laptop like this and just drag it in. And look at that. It now has the body of the laptop. So now I just need the screen, grab the screen, put that in, and there you go. It's just like that. If you don't know where the textures are, you're going to have to go to where you downloaded and then exported the .rar file or .zip file, and then find the textures folder and then just drag in the textures folder. So now that I have this, I can delete this merge 3D because we already have one right here, and you can just go attach that right here. Bring your media out on the right, bring your merge 3D on your left, and then I want this to be smaller because it's way too big, as you can see. So I'm going to click on this, click transform, and just scale it down. Or yeah, and just scale, you can scale it down like that, or you can just click right here, top left, and it will give options for scaling, rotation, and moving. So I'm going to click this and then just bring it down like that. I want this laptop to be right in front of this gradient thing. So I'm going to scale it down way more, like this, and then I'm going to transform it so that it's right in front. And you have to get used to navigation, especially if you've used different software before, like Blender or Maya. Control, it's a lot of using the middle wheel and Control and Alt for transforming. Now that you can see that I have my laptop on here, let's talk about lighting in 3D. So in lighting, you actually have to attach the lights into the Merge 3D like this. So the way you do that, okay, well there's a light right here, spotlight. I can use that, or I can look up like point light or something. This one's pretty good, point light. Attach that point light to the Merge 3D one, and you can see nothing's changed. That's because you have to go to your render 3D and make it render lighting and shadows. Now, let's go to the point light. Let's see where it is. Think of the point light as like a light bulb, and you can move the light bulb around like this. So you can create your own kind of lighting. Like this. Like this. Let's say you don't want like some crazy light like this. You just want some light that kind of just affects everything. So then you would look up ambient light. And go ahead and attach that to Merge 3D. And then you can just affect intensity like this. And you can see that it's basically the same as if I just disabled lighting and shadows. It's the exact same, because this just affects everything in general. So I could put my ambient light a bit more down like this, and then just go ahead and drag in my point light that I had before. Boom. I don't want my point light to be this strong. I'm going to drag it down. But yeah, let's look at different lights too. So I have ambient light here. I have point light here. Let's look at the spotlight here. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a spotlight. So if I drag it down, you can see that it's a spotlight. Let's say I want my laptop to cast a shadow on this background. So I'm just going to rotate this so that, yeah, so I'm just going to angle this off to the side and just let it cast a shadow like this, because why not? And then I'm also going to decrease the intensity because I think it's too intense. Okay, now let's talk about 3D transform. So I want to animate this laptop to like kind of spin in from the side. So let's go click on this. This is the laptop itself, low poly notebook. This is the FBX itself. Let's work from the transform that we have right here. So this is the same thing as 2D transform, but you have another dimension. You have the Z-axis. So just see which one this axis is. This is the X-axis, I know that. So keyframe it where you want it to stop moving. I mean 32 frames, that's a pretty good number. So I'm going to keyframe it there. The direction you want it to come in from, I want it to come from this direction. There, that's good. And then let's also do rotation. I want it to spin, no, I want it to spin, no. I want it to spin on this axis. I think that looks pretty cool. Let's go back to the first one and let's just spin it like maybe 90, 120 degrees, something like that, and let's just see how it looks. There, okay. It might also be playing slower because it's in 3D and your computer might just run it slower in general. But I think I am just gonna like make it spin a bit more, actually. And then we're gonna go into spline and then just ease it in and out. For this, I think I am gonna put it in at so click on spline. I think I'm gonna put it in at out cubic. So just because it's coming in from the side where we can't see it coming in, we don't need to ease it. We don't need to ease it in necessarily because we can already assume that it's been moving for a while. So it should still look fine, and then it's just gonna be eased out. So yeah, in my opinion, that looks okay. I'm just gonna like maybe play it a couple times. Yeah, just to like let it render a bit. I think that looks good. If your computer is really having a hard time, what you can do is go to playback, timeline playback resolution, and then just switch it to half recorder, and it should speed it up quite a bit. I'm just gonna save this in case it crashes, because you never know, right? And now let's say we want a text to appear behind here. So what I'm gonna do is, first things first, save your project. So go to this website right here. I'll have the link in the description, and press Reactor 3 installer. Once it's installed, it should be a .lua file. Click on DaVinci Resolve, go to Workspace, Console, click Open Your Files, and then drag Reactor installer.lua to here. To your console, press Install and Launch. So the thing about Reactor is it's not only for 3D. It's for everything. Like you can install just anything, any effects that you want to use in Fusion, you can just install them. You just have to restart your DaVinci Resolve after you install it. So after that, just go ahead and close this, and it should open up a tab that looks like this. If you accidentally exit out, you can just go back to it by pressing Workspace, Scripts, Reactor, Open Reactor. And it should just open right back up like this. So what you can do is you can search up, actually you can just scroll through all this stuff. This is things that people have made, and it's just things that you can add to your Fusion page. And let's do defocus gamma, because I use this one quite a bit. So click on that, exit Reactor. So now I can see I have defocus gamma. This is just like a different kind of blur. So I have my media out here. I'm just going to add in the defocus gamma that I just installed. That's going to add it in between. And you can just increase defocus size, decrease defocus size, and then here's where it gets interesting. Lens shape here. I'm going to make the blur, I'm going to make it in hexagons. And you can just like affect all this stuff here. And it's a different type of blur. It looks really cool, because the blur is actually made up of these hexagons. It's hard to see, but that's just an example of one of the things that you can get in Reactor. Workspace, Scripts, Reactor, Open Reactor. And then look up textures, look up kick-ass shaders, and then just check that, and check this one too. After it's done installing, just open back up DaVinci Resolve. So after you restart DaVinci Resolve, go ahead, shift space, and then look up KAS. As you can see, these are a bunch of different textures. So let's go KAS underscore stone wall. Let's just try it out. Let's just see, you know. So this one has some like pretty complicated instructions on how to make the brick itself how get that brick effect with the bumps. What I've done is I've taken this brick texture, applied it to a Cook Torrents, and then put it in replace material for this image plane node. There are textures that are far easier to use, like Chrome. So I look up Chrome and you just attach it to replace material. Super duper easy. It's already applied this background because it has nothing else to reflect. As you can see, you see, in the merge 3D here, if I move it around like this, you can see that it is very shiny. But yeah, look up KAS, go look for something that you like. Deep blue, dark blue ice shard. This one is slightly transparent, as you can see. That's why you can see this sort of checkered thing in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a text appear in the background as the laptop is going by. So there's two ways that you can do this. You can add in a background node, image plane, and then put in a text right here, and then connect the image plane like this. And then background all the way down, and then just start typing, like, hello. That's one way you can do it. What this is there's a text on a flat invisible plane. Another way you can do it is if you look up text, and then you will have text 3D right here. And you can just add it in directly right here. And now I can do, let's say, master class. I'm going to write it in all caps. You can then change your font, your size. Let's go Montserrat. Oh no, this is fine. There we go. Okay. That looks pretty nice. Now we just have to, let's say, the thing about text 3D, one reason why it's better than an image plane and a text is you can also replace the material of it. And let's go look up casts again. What do we want? Gold, marble, stone, parkland. Let's try parkland. I don't even know what this is. Looks like it has some sort of... I'm just gonna try this immediately. Okay, I can still kind of see it. Don't like it. Just gonna stick to gold, I think. And let's just make it gold. For the purpose of this, I think I'm just gonna keep it as white and then just have it behind this. In my opinion, I think that looks pretty cool. So now we have to make it appear as the laptop's coming in. Okay, so let's do that. We're gonna be keyframing the right on and right off for that. So let's go to the point where the laptop completely passes the last letter. That would be right there. Let's just go right here. Okay, I want the right on, right off to start actually right here because that's where the laptop comes in. I made a mistake, guys. So like right here, I want it to start. Let's see how that looks. Let's just adjust this so that it looks more clean. There. I'd say that looks pretty good. So let's say you have a video like this, and then you want something to pop up at the top, like right here. Like I used it in one of my previous videos. I'll just show you what I'm saying. So we'll put in a fusion composition where we want that to happen, go into it, and then we'll make another 3D scene. For my video, I had a shorter video coming up at the top revealing itself. It was this one right here. I had this reel coming up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this into the image plane right here. And then there we go. I'm going to adjust the camera. Oh, sorry. I'm going to adjust the image plane actually. You could adjust the camera, adjust the image plane. And then what I want you to do when you're doing this is to imagine the checkered area as the video in the background, because that's what that is. Now imagine where you want this video to pop up over top of that video. I want my video to come up kind of like right here. I'm going to rotate it a bit like this. And then I'm just going to actually pull it down a bit like, yeah, I'm going to put the Y to 0. I think that's looks pretty good. What I also did is I had the corners rounded. Now you can't round the corners in 3D, but before it turns 3D, you can actually add in a rectangle node like this. Let's put that into our second view. Let's make the rectangle node like the size of that, like this, and then corner radius around the corners. Now as you can see in the 3D workspace, it has rounded the corners as well, like this. So pretty cool. Now what you need to do is make it appear like this. So what you want to do is click on your rectangle, go to where you want it to fully appear, 30 frames, keyframe the height, go to the 0, yeah, and put the height all the way down, and then just go to your spline and then ease it in and out. In this case, I'm going to use Outcubic again because it comes from, like, I'll just show you what I mean. It looks like this now, which looks pretty good in my opinion. So that is it for, nope, sorry, let me just show you how it looks now. It looks like this. Pretty cool stuff. So that should be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. Please drop a comment in the comment section, and I hope you have a great day.